Hi, I'm Bree Johnson, Heart and Bones Yoga, and if you know me, I love variety, especially when it comes to our yoga practice, because it's the variety, doing things differently, doing a bunch of different things in different ways is what builds a sustainable yoga practice, is what builds sustainability and health in our joints, in our muscles, in our brain especially. So this tutorial today is all about providing some various new ways of moving between down dog and plank. And it's going to challenge your brain, it's going to challenge your core, it's going to challenge your strength in such wonderful and fun ways. Let's get right to it. If you find that your wrists get a little bit tired in downward facing dog, I recommend doing some wrist warm-ups before we attempt this, because we're going to be doing a lot of movement on our wrists. And otherwise, if everything feels good, let's get into it. What we're going to do is just start in downward facing dog. And when you're in down dog, you're just going to move around. I always like to do a nice little wiggle around, stretching my legs, shoulders, feeling my whole body get used to this shape. And then we're going to walk the hands backwards to the feet. So now from the feet, with the hands at the feet, we're starting in a forward bend here. And if you can do the forward bend with the hands on the ground, great. If you have to bend your knees a little bit or a lot, that's just fine. Now the first thing that we're going to do is just one by one, walk one hand, walk the other hand, until we arrive in a plank position. All right, from the plank position, we're going to send our pelvis and legs back as we start to walk back slowly to the feet. Now try that one more time, and while you're doing this movement, I want you to get a sense of what your hips are doing. While you're walking forward, do your hips shift forward or shift from side to side? See what they do on the way back. Now send your hips back, and when you walk, one hand back, other hand back, does your pelvis go a little bit, do a little bit of a wiggle? If you're like most people, it does. So now this is where it's going to get really fun, if that wasn't fun already, right? So that already is a really great transition and movement in between two poses. But let's see if we can really refine this even more. So now, while we come forward, you're going to stay very mindful, one hand at a time, and thinking about keeping your pelvis and your legs from wobbling from one side to the other, which right away you'll see that your core has to work a little bit differently. Now from plank, I'm going to send my hips back first. I'm going to take one hand back, other hand back, trying not to let my pelvis move from side to side. So I'm going to do that one more time. I like doing it very slowly. It makes me feel like I'm stalking like a cat as I move. And then back slowly, because also the slower you go, the more you have to work in that beautifully dynamic way. Oh, yay. Bend one knee, bend the other knee, wiggle out your legs, wiggle out your shoulders. This pose or this variation you can do in between. So if you're doing a vinyasa class, you can do that as a variation. You can do it just to strengthen, to get your body warm, whatever feels good, but just add that variety. Add the diversity of movement so you're not doing the same thing the same way every single time. So thank you once again for joining me. I love having you here. Don't forget to share this video if you love it. Press subscribe and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thanks, everyone.